So whether we're live or not,
because we're known for the awkward intro anyway.
Yeah, I mean, the awkward intro is something we do better than anybody. Nobody awkward intros the way we do.
I know it's amazing. We have a talent for that.
Yep. All right, the broadcast has started.
Oh, well, hello. What do we have here?
All right, time for that. Hello, gamers. Thank you so much for joining us. This is PSVG OT number 18 because we learned our numbers better from last time. Thank you, editor Tyler. We appreciate you inserting that for the podcast listeners, making us look not dumb. Joining me today is my hero, the MJ to yes, my Luke Longley, Devin Ties. Dev, how are you, my friend?
I am doing fantastic. Wakanda forever. Just gonna throw that out there.
Oh my goodness, yes.
But yeah, man, I'm chilling. It's a glorious Friday evening. Things are well. I'm happy to be here. Just enjoying my time right now. How about you?
Yeah, man, I'm really good. So there's a lot of things going on. We have the first ever PSVG OT, the second overtime happening after the show. We're recording on a Friday. We're normally a Saturday recording. We only moved because PSVG was like, we need to be on Saturday because we have special guests. And I was like, who's your special guest? Like, oh, your co-host. And I was like, selfish. I couldn't get an invite. Like, I can't get a text. Like, nothing. Fine, PSVG. It's fine.
You know, and I mentioned that to Donnie. So, Donnie, bring on Coach Mo.
The thing is, Donnie is, I don't know a lot about wrestling, but what I do know is that he is the guy who's on the stage with the hair. McMahon.
Vince. Yes.
He is the McMahon. And I'm not one of the characters that people know the names of. I'm one of those random characters that show up and get beat up before the good people come out. And I'm okay with my role. I support my role on the PSVG team. But there were some news and tidbits brought to my attention. See, during the last 2 weeks, I've been very busy coaching multiple sports, so I haven't listened to every PSVG show. Now, I do know on the unrated, it is claimed that they have the highest combined bench press. Yeah. Something I'm not 100% sure on, again, because you are on this show and that show, so you cancel each other out.
Right.
I'm a pretty big dude who made a living lifting people off the ground. So, but we're not going to get into that. Evidently, PSVG, the main title program, the Kevin Donnie, called out the unrated and called out the OT and said some very disheartening things, some things that made me a little nervous. And so I went and I listened. I found the audio clip. Editor Tyler, if you can find it for me and play it right now so our listeners know what we're referencing. But here's what was said basically. I'm going to sum it up real quick. If Tyler can insert it, you guys will know the general gist. Basically, they said that we're claiming we're the greatest and that we all come from the PSVG teat. Like puppy, like they are the mama bear. We are the small baby bear. Here's the thing. I don't think the OT has ever claimed to be the greatest show. I feel like we always claim to be the greatest awkward opening show.
Correct. This is correct.
No one awkward opens with our awkwardness the way we awkward. And that's what we claim. That is our claim to fame. So I was like, PSVG, if you're really the Papa Bear, wouldn't you know what our claim to fame is? Wouldn't you know that it's the unpreparedness and the awkward start that make us who we are? Where's this coming from, guys? Where's the hostility? And so I wanted to throw that out there. I wanted to toss that over because I don't think the OT's ever claimed to be the best. Because here's the thing.
I don't think so.
Literally, I consider myself Luke Longley half the time. Okay? Luke Longley's never walked around saying he's the best. Luke Longley never woke up going, man, I sure is great to be Luke Longley. No.
Yeah, and I don't call myself MJ. And, he's the best.
So I was just very shocked. I was PSVG. Yeah, you're the mama bear. We all get that. But guys, you got to actually listen to our show before you start throwing around the trash talk.
Yeah, here's the thing. Where's the hate? Why?
Here's the thing, Dev, you and I feel fairly confident in our trash talking ability. I feel like if we really wanted to ruffle feathers, we would be very good at ruffling feathers, and that's not what we do on the OT. The OT is all about, we are the Gatorade of shows. We're just here to quench a thirst.
Yeah,
We're not here to cause you any discomfort. We're not your crunk juice. We're just trying to have a conversation. So I wanted to open. I told Dev we're gonna have a longer open. This is longer than normal for us, and I just wanted to share that I was very taken aback. Listeners, help us out. Let them know that this was said, because evidently they don't listen to the show. Clearly. Evidently they don't know.
The Unrated has the largest bench press. Asterisk. I cancel myself out, so I. And we have the greatest awkward intro.
Yeah,
but there was nothing ever said about the OT being the best or Unrated being the best. So I don't know why PSVG
I was very shocked. I was like, man,
has an issue. Y'all need to chill over there on the main show. I'll be there tomorrow. I'm gonna set the record straight.
Please do. Please, you know what? Bring this up. Bring this fuel to the fire, because the OT, we demand answers. All right, because we've never been on one. We're not an island.
No, we're not.
We are not a shack or an empire on the OT. We're just two guys telling stories, and we've had some amazing, wonderful guests in we're now 18 episodes in, and we've had all these great people on. And we're not over here saying we're awesome sauce. We're just trying to share some memories and make some jokes, and hopefully when you listen to this, you're laughing as hard as we will. And that's all. So that's our longer intro than normal. That's a good intro. I'm really proud of us.
Yeah, just to add a little to that intro, I just want to shout out the people in our chat right now. We got OG Sean Capri. What up, Sean? We got Chaffee up there. We got Unrated Podcast, which I'm assuming is Lobo. He did say he was going to listen to us live. So just want to shout out the chat and say, what's cracking, y'all?
Me and Lobo, we just got done. He and his friends wreck shop on the Siege. I'm just there. I don't really get a lot of kills. I'm just there. I make a couple call outs, but man, I love playing with those guys. They're a talented team.
Yeah, I can't wait to get Siege and get in there and get carried, because I'm sure I'm gonna suck.
Yeah, they do some special stuff. Also, I have a Overwatch Bastion figure for Mr. Chaffee, something you called out. So just for, again, once we're shouting those people out, and if you're listening to the podcast, we actually do have a large quantity of things that we're giving away. How we give them away, we don't know. We just kind of do stuff and things get sent places. But yeah, all right. So getting into, before we start the show, again, we are built on two premises, two big things. Number one, sharing memories, cracking jokes, having some laughs. Number two, unpreparedness. So, Dev, have you been prepared in any way, shape, or form today for what we're about to go down?
No, I feel like I've actually been underprepared. So not even just like not prepared, but like underprepared.
I like that. That makes me really happy. That's really good stuff. I'm very excited about that. So today's memory is, what did you used to do that when you look back on it now was low-key the coolest thing you could have ever done? And this actually happened from a conversation with me and some of my kids. One of my boys asked me, Coach, how did you used to pull girls? And I go, what do you mean? What are you talking about? And I was like, you shouldn't actually touch girls without like permission. Like, you shouldn't just grab people. And he's like, no, Coach. Like, how did you used to get girlfriends? And I was like, I have no fear when it comes to embarrassing myself. I don't have what they call, some people have that, like, hey, I probably shouldn't do this in public. I've never had that. I've always been pretty good at, just embarrassing myself one way or another, and then not having the shame that some people have. And so what I used to do, the thing used to be my special talent that now when I look back at it, was really cool of me. It was really, really good thing. But I used to sing to girls at lunch, and not girls that I knew. See, I would see a pretty girl at lunch, and I would go over, and I would start ushering in a little, usher. That's what I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself. A little Key Sweat, nobody, baby. Because nobody will love you like me.
Nobody.
And that's what I'm talking about. A little Boys to Men and some All for One. I had a little Casey and JoJo in the back pocket when I needed it. And I had a pretty good arsenal of things to sing to these strange girls that I thought were cute. My buddy Jonte would be behind me. And he would say, good guy. And he would basically just tell him, like, listen, he's going to keep singing until either you invite him to sit down or you buy them a soda. And most girls just let me sit down. We got to have a conversation, make some small talk. I got a couple phone numbers, a date or two out of it. One girl bought me a soda. No, thank you. And so, like, low key looking back, I was like, man, that was a pretty cool thing. That was real smart. And when I met my wife, I used to sing to her in the cafeteria, loud and proud. Let everybody know, like, hey, I find this girl very cute, and I'm gonna let her know. So, for you, low key thing you used to do that now you realize was actually really cool.
I'm trying to think. And Chaffee said, you didn't bust out a little Pony by Genuine?
That is a special song you only use for serious relationships, Chaffee. That is not one you pull out in the cafeteria. That's one you say for grown-up things, my friend.
Oh, man. That's funny. Yeah, me and my boys, we used to, if we were at the movie theater waiting on movies, we would just all huddle around and just start singing and drop a hat just to see if we could get people to put money in the hat. And we never really got anything, but it was just funny to just be a couple of dudes just sitting there singing Boys and Men and other random songs just because we were bored and because we could. Something cool that I used to do that I don't do anymore. I don't think there's a whole lot that I don't do that I used to do other than, be young and in shape. Because I'm still the same idiot I was, previously. I like to say I'm like 13 now. Back then I was 12.
All right.
Thanks, Sean. Yes, this sweater is fresh and it's comfortable and warm too.
It really is. It always looks good.
View in the chat here. I'm trying to think something that I used to do that was cool. I don't consider myself all that cool. I was a nerd, Oh man, you may have actually stumped me with this one.
This is the first official stump in 18 episodes.
I have to think, like, what was cool that I did?
I'm very proud of myself. This is a good question, guys.
This is something I thought was cool. I don't know if everybody else thought it was cool, but I used to rock colored headbands with everything. So no matter what outfit that I had a Nike headband to go with it. All the colors, no matter what color it was, I had a matching headband to go with it because that was like my thing. I was like, you know what? Nobody rocks headbands. I'm going to rock headbands all the time with whatever outfit I have, and then it would just translate onto the football field. So I'd be rocking the headband all day. We get to practice or whatnot. I can still rock the headband while we're not wearing the helmet, and then from the helmet it goes down around the neck, so it just color coordinate. So that I thought was cool. That, and I always had a toothpick too, so I just looked like I was just way too cool for school. People used to think that I was super conceited because I was also quiet. So here I am trying to be cool, with my headband and my toothpick, and then I'm not talking to anybody either. So girls were like, "He's so conceited. Oh my god, he thinks he's so cool." No, I'm just quiet. I wasn't paying you no attention. I'm sorry, I was too focused on football. But I think that's probably something that was cool that I used to do that I don't do anymore. And dang it, Chaffee, I'm not in a confessional booth, you rat bastard. Oh man, looking at chat is hilarious.
I love the chat. That's good stuff. Now I will say I only rocked a headband once. And Jonte is actually the person who got me to stop. There was a Portland Trailblazer by the name of Cliff Robinson.
Yes.
He was called Uncle Cliffy for us. And he wore this red headband. And I remember I wore one for basketball tryouts, made the team, and I thought, this is my new lucky headband. I'm going to rock this. And the next practice, like the official one, Jonte goes, "What are you wearing, fool?" And takes it off my head, springs it, and like flings it across over to the girls' practice. And he goes and he yells at Kristen, "That's for you. Big Mo got it as a gift." And she took it and was like, "Oh, thanks, Big Mo." And I never got my headband back. Still sad about that.
That's hilarious.
I pushed him down running away from a tree. So he can get rid of my headband. I'm not gonna.
He gets restitution from you for the rest of life for that.
Yeah. That story. It'll follow me around a long time, but I'm okay with it. So, moving into questions, or do you have a curveball?
I have a curveball.
All right, curveball time. We need a sound that says curveball time.
I know we do need something. Tyler, get on that. Um,
Actually, hold on. Before you go to curveball, Tyler, in front of the wonderful fans who are watching right now, I'm going to buy you a gift.
oh,
Your editing last week was superb. I love that you're listening and you're doing these things for us. And so, unlike the other shows who maybe just say thank you quickly, we owe you and we're going to take care of you. So, me and Dev are going to talk after the show. We're going to pick a gift and I'm going to go purchase it and we're going to get it sent to you because, Tyler, you are a great editor. And no, me and Dev, I'm not saying we couldn't edit a show. I'm just saying nobody would want us to.
no.
Nobody wants to hear the Coach Mo edited show. So I'd have the bumpers in the wrong place. Who knows what else would go on? There'd be no show in the middle. But thank you for what you do. In the middle of this, let's take time. Thanks, Big Ty.
Thank you, Tyler.
All right, go ahead. Curveball time. Let's do this.
So the curveball. I was sitting with my daughter before I went to go put her down to bed or whatnot. Mm-hmm. And she was like, "Oh, you have a podcast, Daddy? What are you doing this time?" I was like, "You know what? We're never prepared for this show, so I actually have no idea what we're going to do. But would you like to ask a question?"
Okay.
So she proceeds to ask a couple of questions. She was like, her first question was, "Why are there no girls in the podcast?" And I was like, "Well, but we actually have had a few females on, so
that's some really cool ones.
That question isn't going to work because we've had some very, very cool women on the show. So I need another question from you, bub." And she was like, okay. Well, why do you podcast, Dad? I was like, you know what? That is an excellent question. Thank you so much. And it made me really think, why do I podcast? Why do we do this? One, I think all of us listened to podcasts and it made us want to be like, you know what? I think I can do that too. I want to talk about stuff with my friends. So the first and foremost, like the main reason I podcast is because I get to sit here and talk with you. It's awesome. Or I get to sit and talk with Q. I enjoy just being able to sit down and geek out and talk about stuff with my friends. So that's the number one reason why I continue to do these podcasts and try to keep them, consistent. The other reason why is I like talking about video games. I like talking about the stories. I like talking about just whatever. So being able to just have a voice and feel like, I'm a part of a larger community is just, a whole lot of fun. It's great. So that's why I podcast. What about you, Mo?
So I actually, I don't know if this is widely known, but I stepped away from PSVG as a whole, like not the website, not the Discord, but like the podcast. I had taken a long hiatus, and it was because I just I didn't have like the want to do it. Like I didn't have that like, man, I want to talk about news and gaming. Like that's why I listen to NTTG. That's why I listen to Unlocked. Like they're the places that give me those things. And I was like, I don't think this is for me. And it actually was, I believe Donnie and I were having a conversation, and then it led to me and Kevin having a conversation. And they both said something very similar, like, we know you love doing this. Like, we know you love being a part of it. You just have to kind of find that thing that you enjoy. And that led to eventually me coming up with the idea of the OT and be like, hey, this is something different. It's not news related. It's not like hottest game related. It's just being relational. Can I do this? And they were like, yeah, go for it. And I remember after the first one, Donnie was like, Mo, that was really good. Like, I'm really proud of you. And I was like, I teared up a little bit because like getting a compliment like that from the Papa Bear who has started all this, who has done all this, like meant the world to me. And like, you can't go tell him, you can't be like, thank you so much, Donnie. That meant so much to me. Like, I can't do that. Like I can now, like I can openly now, like say, Donnie, like, thank you. Like that meant that was everything. Like that got me to work so hard. Like we had guest after guest after guest lined up. Like we were talking to people from IGN who still are talking to me and like, hey, I'm not free this weekend or this weekend because of DICE, but maybe in the future I'm available. When that happens, it's gonna be a big day for us. But it really was when I found my niche. Like this is what I like to do. I just want to talk to people. I just want to crack a joke and love on some folks.
Yeah.
And that's really what it is.
Awesome. Well, I'll play that on Tuesday. My daughter will hear that and she'll be like, oh, cool.
Can't wait. All right. Well, going into our questions, we actually have a couple very serious ones first. And so I figured we'd knock these ones out. The first one was in dealing with the tragedy that happened in Florida. do you think teachers should be armed? And we had a very long conversation about this at school. So, Dev, I'll share mine first, just so you can kind of hear what things I've already said and to my kids. I do not, in any way, shape, or form, think teachers should be armed. I've got two big reasons for this. Number one, I lose my keys to my classroom daily. So now you want to give me another thing to carry around? If I lose it, now we're putting people in danger. Okay. Not to mention you've got 100 teachers on staff. If 100 teachers have a bad day and lose something, that does not sound like a good idea to me. Number two, and my reasoning for this is we have a lot of schools, and there are a lot of schools who haven't had a shooting. And I'm not saying this to take away from the ones we have had. What I'm saying is what we need as educators is we need more people to help us combat the mental health issues that are going on in our youth. We need more people to help us have these open conversations so that when a kid is hurting and he doesn't know how to tell people, when he is so angry and so afraid and so sad and has so much fear and stress and anxiety built up that he cannot parlay the words and get them out to say, guys, it hurts so bad, I want to scream, but I can't. That we find him a person to talk to, that we find him a healthy way to get it out. And so that's the stuff that I would want to see. Instead of you spending that money on something as frivolous, and I think that is frivolous, I think that's a waste of money. I would love it to see if we couldn't put more money into these schools. And if we can't, then we need to look at this education system and fix it. So that's my end. What do you think, Dev?
Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and shout out our chat. Chaffee was like, he said that's a firm no on the armed nonsense. And he's also an elementary school admin. So I have to echo both of you, and I think it's a horrible idea. The last thing I want is to send my daughter or my son into a school that already has guns. There's enough guns already out in the world. We don't need more. And I don't know how it is in Texas, but like teachers out here can barely afford, they have to buy their own school supplies. Yep. And now you want them to buy guns? And not only do you want them to be underpaid for the work that they do, but you want them to also have to be in charge of the safety of the children with a gun. They have to worry about gun safety now and making sure that, like you said, somebody else doesn't get their hands on it. Because the last thing we need is for some knucklehead to be like, oh yeah, I know the teacher's got a gun. Let me see if I can get it from him. Or to have that one teacher who wants to be so cool and he's going to show the gun to the kids or something. Like, I just think it's a horrible idea. And I read a thread on Twitter from a ex-police officer who was like, you don't understand the amount of training these teachers would have to go through to be able to carry a gun and be proficient in it. Not only being able to, go to a range. Anybody can go to a range and shoot at a target and then, qualify to get a gun. But if you really want to have teachers to be effective with the gun in an armed shooter situation, they have to be able to hit a moving target that's also shooting at them. Be able to, can you shoot with, one hand? Can you reload and shoot with one hand? Can you disarm? Can you keep yourself from being disarmed? So you've got so many just other types of training that is more than just going to a range and learning how to fire a gun. And God forbid something happens where the gun falls and it either goes off and kills another kid, or some other kid picks up the gun and is trying to hit the shooter but hits a kid. Like, there's just so many things. And I just think back to all of my teachers and how old some of them were and how they're there to teach. They're not thinking about having to fire a gun. They're not thinking about being shot at. And I know me, I would freeze up in that situation. Like, if I'm, I have to now fire a gun instead of just trying to keep the kids safe, trying to get them out or get them hidden or whatnot. Now I have to worry about, okay, I gotta get them hidden. I gotta be able to fire this gun. Like, it's just too much to go on. I'm not there for that. I am not security. I am not a police officer. I'm none of that. So the idea of having to put that additional stress on teachers is just ridiculous. So I'm a hard no. This is a terrible idea.
I'm right there with you. The second one was after 9 days since the shooting, the kids from that school have helped make a lot of change. and not changes in like actual change, but changes in a conversation has actually started to happen, an open conversation. And why do you think that is?
Can you repeat the question one more time?
So in a little over a week since the incident in Florida, these students have actually helped have these conversations and brought things to the forefront, to the attention. Why do you think these students, these high schoolers, have had such an impact on national media to help make these conversations happen? I reworded it a little bit.
Because they're pissed. Like, we have elected officials that we have put in place to try and fix and stop this nonsense. Yet they have done nothing but send prayers and thoughts. This is happening way too often. The kids who just had to watch 17 of their classmates don't want your prayers and thoughts. They want answers. They want fixes. They want solutions. All the prayers and thoughts in the world right now, while they may be comforting in some way, it's not change. They want to enact change. These kids are sick and tired of this stuff. I mean, I feel like we have failed them completely as adults. Like, we have them having to deal with the fact that not only do you have fire drills and earthquake drills and tornado drills and whatever else you guys have, now you have an active shooter drill. Like, that's a thing. I don't like that. I don't want to have to deal with that kind of stuff. And these kids are pissed, and they're like, you know what? You're not just going to shut us up. We're not just going to have to sit back and be told by you guys who are, not enacting any change to shut up because we're kids. They're not having that. These kids are not dumb. They got shot at. They witnessed their friends be killed. They witnessed teachers be killed. And you want them to just shut up and be kids? Not gonna happen. And I'm so proud of all of them kids for standing up to that and being like, yeah, we're not gonna take any more of this. You guys are going to do something. Enough is enough.
Nice. So when me and my students were having this conversation, what I said was, I'm over 30 years old, and right now, out of all the actual friends that I have, the people in my circle, I could not tell you if I knew any of them that actually identified as Republican or Democrat. They're just people. And I think what the kids are doing is they don't have a party. They're not Republican or Democrat. They're human beings who are voicing a human concern of safety. And I think that is appealing to all those people out there who don't identify on one side of the line, but just identify as being human being a good person. And they go, yeah, why aren't we fixing this? Wait, no, you're right. These kids are making a good point when they ask these questions about who's getting money from who, and asking why they're not acknowledging it or why they're not saying these things and why these things are still happening. And I think that the reason so much has happened from it is because the things they're saying are not partisan. The things they're saying are human. I firmly believe that I want to work with human beings instead of worrying about the human doings. And so I tell it to my kids a lot. And it's one of those things that has really helped me as a teacher. And so that would be where I was coming from in it and what we were having that conversation about. So,
yeah. We need to stop with all this party line stuff. It's more than that. It's not about Republican. It's not about Democrat. It's about humans. It's about being able to like come together as a nation and fix the problem and help the people. Like, that's what you elected officials are there for. You're not there to be a Republican or be a Democrat. You're there to fix problems. And this is a major problem that doesn't seem to be any closer to a fix at all.
Man. All right. We've gone through these two pretty hardcore questions. We've got some lighter ones. We've got some ones for the people who know us where we want to laugh and joke. So we're going to turn that script. We're going to flip that switch because laughing through tragedy helps sometimes. And that's what we do. We are pretty fun guys. We got some jokes. All right. So this first question actually was like one that had me almost on the floor, like when I first heard it. And so I'm really excited to ask you. This question is, so you're given an opportunity to hang out with any 5 people. However, you're on one of those spinning things at the fair.
Oh God.
The zero gravity one, you know what I'm talking about? Where like spin super fast and you can like move all around and like you're on the wall, but you're upside down. You can do whatever you want. So what 5 people are you taking on the zero gravity machine?
Well, I first have to think about which 5 people are not gonna be too upset that I threw up on them, because those things they do something to me where it's just not gonna be a good time.
Okay.
Man, only 5. That's gonna be tough. I'm not gonna take my wife because I don't wanna put her through that. That doesn't seem like fun. Um, uh, I'm gonna take you because we're just gonna be a bundle of laughter, because that's gonna be ridiculousness. I'd probably take my boy Jan, just one of my boys who I game with, and we just have a good time. I'll probably take my best friend Marcus, because one, he's gonna be crying so hard that he's gonna be in tears. And that's just gonna be hilarious. He has what we call the happy clown disease, where at some point something will be so funny to him that he literally cannot stop laughing for like 5 minutes, and he is literally crying because he's laughing so hard. Um,
Okay.
I'd probably take my sister because that's the homie, and she likes stuff like that. What's that, 4?
Yep, I think that's 4.
Yeah, Jan, Mo, Q, my sister. The 5th. I plead the 5th. F-I-F, 5th. I'd probably take my boy Doug, just because he probably isn't going to be able to handle something like that. And the amount of trash talk that I'll be able to get away with afterwards, talking trash to him about how he couldn't handle it, is going to just make my day for a while.
I like that. All right. Now, so when we were having this conversation, the joke was because on most of those, I can touch the bottom and the floor at the same time.
Oh God, you're a giant.
Because of my height. And so I was like, it's really not zero gravity for me. It's just like really awkward spinning. And so we were laughing about it. And so here's my list. I of course I'm taking you, okay, because with my 6'7" and you're 5'7", that's gonna be a fun photo op. I'm gonna go ahead and grab Jonte because he's about 2 inches taller than me. So if you got you in the middle, you got me on one side, you got the big guy in the other. Now this is a better picture. This is a good picture. Then I'm grabbing Chris McCracken.
Oh,
the bread fan. I'm grabbing him from the MTGG, from the homepage, because literally I think that now we have a nice little picket fence going with the big rung and the little rung and the big rung and the little rung. And then my last one, I'm going to go ahead and get him. I'm going to get our guy Luke Longley. Luke's done so much for this show. Luke's been responsible for a heck of a lot of jokes. And so I'm going to grab him. So now we've got, 7 foot. We got 5'7". We've got 6'7". We got, I don't know what Chris is. I'm going to go with 5'6".
Yeah, he's like an inch shorter than me, I think.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with 5'6". And then you got my boy Jonte, and that's another 6'9". Okay, that is a whole lot of dude and some little guys mixed into a good time on the spinning ring zero gravity machine.
Wow. The picket fence.
Could you see us walking into a mall, man? Slow motion style, little action movie coming.
About to drop the hottest mixtape.
4, the picket fence. It's coming to a theater near you.
Oh man. Thanks, Luke, for everything.
Thank you, Luke. Our next one, you're stranded on a desert island. You're able to get one care package. This care package can only have 3 things, and they can't be technology based. What are you having dropped off?
So no tech. I'm gonna have to eat. So I'm gonna have to think of something that can be dropped off that'll allow me to create food and sustain food and make more food. And is this like a castaway situation where I'm not getting off this island unless I get myself off this island?
Yes, you are currently stuck.
Hmm. Man. Yeah, I'm gonna have like stuff to make potatoes, plant potatoes and try to grow potatoes because I feel like that's a good source of food that's gonna sustain me. You can do a lot of potatoes.
And they will grow almost anywhere.
Yeah.
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 It's a hardy vegetable.
Damn. I want some really, really, really sturdy rope. So that, and probably like a hatchet, just so I can go ahead and cut down trees and then I can tie things up and make a hut. And then if I have to, make a raft to get myself out of the situation. Also, you want a hatchet in case there's some wild animals you can go ahead and hunt, So now I've got, I've got my potatoes. I've got a way to make meat. I've got a way to eat. I've got a hatchet so I can go ahead and cut down trees and be able to make stuff for myself as far as, shelter, and then also be able to hunt with it as well. So
Nice.
I think those are going to be the three things in my care package.
So mine was also had the potato seed in there. Planting the potatoes, getting my farm on farming simulator 17 just getting announced. No, 18 just got announced. Can't wait. Going to be game of the year. Can't wait to play it. My second one was at Home Depot. They sell this kit that has like this. It's got like a bunch of different tools and knives and stuff like that in it. I would want one of those kits. Okay, I'm not a very handy person, so like I'm not sure like everything that's in it, but hopefully it has enough for me to make the things I need to make. My last thing would be I would get one of those big machetes, the big long ones, so that I could just wreck shop on some trees. You know what I mean? That's just quick and easy, doing my thing. So that would be mine. I'd have some extra tools. I'd have I should have said rope. Rope was really. I feel like you're always in a movie and they're like, yeah, we need rope.
Yeah, right.
And I'm like, oh man, but I don't have room for that. I've got the toolkit because if I've got a hammer, that's going to help me in some different situations. Smashing open a crab.
Yeah, but see, if you have the rope, and you have the machete, you can then create a hammer with a rock.
Huh. Yeah, I'm going to stick with my first try. I feel confident in my choices. I'm sticking with them. You're not going to sway me on this. I'm staying true. I feel good with it. All right. Our last question. What professional sporting event do you wish you could go to?
That's not that difficult for me. It has to be the NBA finals. Like that's where I want to go. Y'all all know basketball is life. The rest is just details. So going to the finals would probably be like the top for all sporting events. Like Super Bowl is cool, yeah, whatever. But yeah, absolutely, hands down, NBA finals. Just being around that atmosphere of just like the pinnacle of basketball. And then it's 7 games, so I get to go to. Well, if it goes 7 games, I get to go to 7 games instead of just 1. So that would be awesome. I just love basketball. I love the atmosphere. It is life. So yeah, NBA finals, hands down.
So when I was talking to a couple kids about this, I said if I'd only go to the Super Bowl if the Bears were in it. So if the Bears are in, I'll go. Like that would be the number one because getting to see them there would be incredible.
Yeah.
However, if they're not in, I would love to go to one of those F1 races that's in one of like the really rich cities overseas, like
Monaco.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Like from the Iron Man 2, one of those.
That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah. I would love to get to go see one of those things. You know what I mean? I think that'd be really cool to see all these fancy cars and get to see this beautiful city. And I think that'd be fun. I've actually been to an NBA Finals game before.
Oh,
Blazers Bulls.
Oh man, nice.
Did not end the way I wanted it, but got to go to it. And I've been to one for Major League. Got to go see the Cubbies. So I've been, had some fun there. So I've gotten to see some of those things. And then for the NHL, I got to see the Blackhawks.
Oh man,
when they were down playing against Tampa. So I've gotten to experience a lot of those things. But the only way I would pick the Super Bowl would be if the Bears were in it. I would have no interest if it was just two teams I don't care about. Because being honest, I don't even watch the Super Bowl if my team's on it. I have no point.
Okay, so how on earth are you a Cubs fan, a Blackhawks fan, a Bears fan, but not a Bulls fan? You're a Blazers fan.
We haven't had this. We haven't told this story. All right, here we go. All right, I'm gonna paint a picture for you. It's 1990. Okay, I'm like 6 years old. I'm like 6'2", 280 pounds. That's a joke.
I was at 6.
I wasn't that tall. I wasn't that tall. And I remember going to watch the Chicago Bulls play the Blazers, and I'm watching Clyde Drexler give it to Jordan. Now, up until this point, I'm a Bulls fan. But I'm watching Clyde the Glide just shimmy and shake and go to the hoop. I watched Kevin Duckworth banging down low and just slamming it down. I watched Buck Williams, who literally looked like one of the smallest guys on the floor, grab rebound after rebound. And I watched the smoothest point guard I've ever seen, Terry Porter, who just comes up the court, pops a three, throws that sweet assist. And I remember turning to my big brother and going, This team is so good, man. This team's amazing. He's like, are you rooting against the Bulls right now? I'm like, no, I'm not. But when we left, all I could think about was Clyde the Glide and Kevin Duckworth, Jerome Kersey, Buck Williams. I wasn't thinking about Bill Cartwright.
Yeah,
I was thinking about John Paxson. I wasn't thinking about MJ. I was thinking about these guys, and I was like, I'm about to make this switch. Wow. I'm about to make this choice. And so then I think it was like a year later, we moved from Chicago, from Illinois, over to Portland. And once that move happened, I was solidified. I was ride or die, Rip City, let's go. I was the biggest Blazer fan you'd ever seen. I was wearing jerseys of players that I didn't even know who they were. It's like, if you got a jersey, I'll buy it. And so that's how the change happened.
Now, yes, the Blazers were dope, but dude, MJ,
2 years later, my decision haunted me because MJ did work against the Blazers and knocked them out of, I think it was back-to-back NBA championships. So
no, the Blazers didn't go twice; they only went once.
I'm pretty sure it was twice
because it was. Because the Bulls beat the Lakers, they beat the Blazers, and they beat the Suns for their first three-peat. Then Houston won the next two, and then the Bulls won the next three, twice against Utah and once against the Sonics.
Who did we lose to? Then we must have made it really far one year, and because I was so young, I counted it that we made it that far.
I'm trying to think. Did they go to the finals and lose to Detroit? Because Detroit won the two before the Bulls did. Because the Bulls couldn't get over that Detroit hump.
I think maybe that's what it was. Maybe we lost to another team. But that's how it happened.
The Blazers had a nice squad. I mean, Clyde the Glide was Clyde the Glide. You had Cliff, you had Duckworth, but man, the Bulls in the heyday of Jordan, like the first.
It wasn't. I didn't jump in on the heyday. Like it was like 2 years prior to heyday.
I can't
even the switch.
I can't even understand it.
I was young. I was young, man. Things happen. All right.
And the Blazers haven't been good since. Well,
nope.
They've kind of been okay. They were the playoffs. Blazers. And then,
let's not talk about that stuff, man. Why are you trying to hurt me today?
Why? They got kind of good.
All right. So now we're going on to a different topic that isn't this. Why are you gonna hurt me, man?
Yeah, Damon Stoudemire. Poor Brandon Roy. That was my dude.
Oh man, I've never felt worse for a guy.
He was
never felt worse. If you are not a sports fan, look up Brandon Roy and his knockout playoff game against, was that the Mavericks?
Yeah, he was so good. Oh God,
he did some special things.
Gone too soon. His poor knees.
All right, now we're done. we've got it wrapped up. But at the end of the show, what that means, we have a new thing. So what is your game of the year as today, 2018?
Man, my game of the year, because I haven't played anything since the last time we recorded. So it's probably gonna still have to be Monster Hunter right now because I haven't played anything. But if we play Sea of Thieves in the double OT and it happens to be any good, that might be sliding itself into the spot. Because I'm looking forward to being a pirate and sailing the high seas.
Is that how the vote went?
There was no vote because I forgot.
Okay. Yeah. So Sea of Thieves it is. All right. So we'll be Sea of Thievesing up in a couple minutes. So I have actually played only 3 games over the since our last podcast. I jumped in and played a game called The Station, which I 1000. Took me about 30 minutes. I missed one achievement. Had to go back through and find it. Wasn't a hard find. It was a pretty simple puzzle game. I like, how me, I like the puzzle games. They're fun. They're a good time.
Yeah.
And then I played another game called Metal Gear Survive.
Yes.
Played about an hour of that one. It's fine. it's fine. It's not anything new. It's nothing really super incredible. So my game of the year is staying with Kingdom Come Deliverance. I've gotten a little farther. There's been 2 patch updates. One has actually significantly helped me, but then I ran into something that literally made me want to quit. The lock picking in this game, not good. I'm not saying I rage quit twice.
Oh man.
But I rage quit twice. So I guess I am saying I rage quit twice. It was not, dude. It was a bad scene. However, after I did jump online, I looked up some information on it. I'm guessing on PC this would be so much easier, like the way they have it set up.
However, what's the mechanic? How do you do the lock picking?
You just need to see it. Let's not. I'm gonna get mad. I don't want to do it to myself. So, but the game again, after the last couple patches, some things are looking really pretty. They're looking better. I still enjoy the combat. I love the fact that this game is that Skyrim feel without magic. All right. I heard somebody say there was alchemy. I have not gotten into that part yet, so I'm not quite sure how that works. I'm kind of excited when I do get far enough, but still loving the game. Just a really fun. I would give, if I was to rate this one, I know Donnie hates ratings, but if I was to give it a rating, it'd probably be like a 75 to like an 80. You know what I mean? Okay. It's way better. It's if 60, 65 is good, it's like great-esque. Like it's on its way to being like something special. I think if they got maybe 2 or 3 more patches out that cleaned up the horseback riding, that cleaned up a couple of the other stuff, it would be like an 85, 90.
Nice.
So really enjoying it.
It seems like they're doing well. I guess it already sold over 1 million copies. It seems to be doing well. I read that there's actually a patch, I guess, not a patch, a mod on PC that turns it into Game of Thrones, and that is really cool.
No, that would be sick.
Yeah, apparently it just turns everything into Game of Thrones. So
if this is Game of Thrones, this would be everything I think people would ever wanted from a Game of Thrones game.
Right?
Goodness, that'd be so cool. Oh man. So, all right. Anything you work on? Anything coming up that you want to talk about?
No, nothing coming up. Just, we got the double OT. So look for that. It's going to be our new little mixer stream, the party after the party.
Yep, starting in like 5 minutes.
Yeah. Other than that, I'm not working on too much right now. I'm really trying to get some time to get through this backlog so I can start this series that I want to call the Backlog Blues, where I'm starting to go through all of my old games. But time has been not giving as of late. So
gotcha.
Other than that, I'm not doing a whole much more than just trying to podcast and be around on social media and just talk up the sites and the podcast and everything. Other than that, that's it.
Well, I actually did write a piece. I wrote that Monster Hunter piece and got that one published up. I wrote a second smaller one for the station, the game I 1000 today. I'm pretty sure that I'll finish adding pictures and stuff and get that one up for them to review, and the review gods will take it and put it up on the PSVG, the PlaySomeVideoGames.com, the founding mothership. My big article, still working on some things I had to fix. I realized I had 2 of the theories backwards. And so I have to go through and kind of re-edit some of the stuff that I had been writing on my opinion piece of it. So other than that, not a lot more going on. So for me, for Dev, for all the great people in the chat, thank you so much for listening to PSVG OT episode 18. And hopefully we'll see you at the double OT. All right. That's game over.